You ragging a beater like an Irish son. Waked up.
But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice.
Yeah, I was white, but I'm black. Irish. Yeah, my one's right, but I'm black.
Welcome. Good morning. Well, by the time this is released, it'll be later in the afternoon. But right now, presently, it is 8 a.m. here on the Sunday Punch podcast, and that was it's a fantastic song by Guap Dad, Black Iverson. I just if you haven't heard of him, he's quite the good rapper. I like the lyrics too. You know, I was in the club for I was 21. Hey, now I'm with the savage and she 21. Hey, now that's rap. Okay, I'm gonna react to the UFC on this episode, by the way, and I'll put the timestamp in for you if you want to skip this part. But that was rap music. Okay, that's the kind of rap music I like. The Drake album, honestly, never mind. Yeah, that sucked. You know what? If you like that album, that's fine. That's perfectly fine if you like that album. But here, you want to know why I hated that album? If you haven't heard it, it's a Drake does a house album. Sorry. Having my coffee. My early morning coffee. Which is great, by the way. This is a coffee called Jot. I ordered it. It was retargeted to me on Instagram. At some point, they must have... You know, they're really following me around on social media. Just retargeting me. I don't like that they know I like coffee. How did they know that? What did I go to a coffee website and they retargeted me? Or do I just fit the demo for coffee drinkers? It's called Jot, J-O-T, and they have a little deal where you order the coffee, they send you. It's like a thick molasses liquid that's pure caffeine. And you but they send you a little mug with, it's like their starter deal, you know? They're like, "Hey, here's our thick molasses liquid, and you get a mug too. And we're going to throw that in for free." And free shipping. Well, that's just everyone nowadays. Amazon put free shipping on the map and nobody looked back. But the mug's good. It keeps your drinks nice and cool. I like mine iced coffee, but I'm sure it would keep it nice and hot. And so what you do is you put a little bit of I put an ice cube or two in, fill it up with water, 8 ounces. You then put the one tablespoon of this Jot coffee liquid molasses. I gotta say, I'm already feeling awake. I top mine off with a little chocolate milk, oat milk. This is what the people want to hear. My coffee recipe. It was goddamn delicious. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Drake's album. Okay, so here's the reason why the Drake album sucks. He tries to do a house album. You know, it sucks expecting rap from him, and then you get a shitty house album. And I gave it another shot, and I was in Croatia. I was listening to house music, so obviously now I am an expert. I'm Kyrie Irving now. I know more than you. I'm a genius. Anyone who likes the Drake album's an idiot. Although Drake did his own Kyrie thing, and he tweeted out, because he was getting a lot of flack back for it. He says, oh, it's okay. If you don't get it, I'm in the future. If you don't get it, you don't get it. No, how about this, Drake? You put out an album to do another genre to make more money in the summertime. What do you mean I don't get it? I get how basic business works. I get how the music business, right? So you wanted to be in dance clubs in the summertime. No, I get it. But if you're going to do house music, why don't you do it well? You can listen to a million other house music albums that are better than the Drake shit house music album. Gorgon City is a Chicago house music DJ. Listen to them. They're good. Their album Olympia came out a year ago. If you listen to two songs on Olympia, it's better than the entire shitty house Drake album. So I'm expecting rap. You give me house. It's shitty house. Look, you sold out for a shitty H&M playlist album. And then you tweet out a Kyrie thing. You don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. You're right. I don't get shitty house. I don't get why you would put out shitty house. I'm a little late on the party on this one. I want Guap Dad. I want rap. I want, what are the lyrics again? Let me look up the lyrics. I was in a club before I'm 21. Now I'm with a savage and she's 21. I used to rap to hundreds round 21s. Now I'm in Atlanta. Shout out 21. That's rap. Not, your pussy is calling my name. Song sucks. And then he does that other song. What is it? You know how sticky it get. You know how sticky it get. While there's like boom, 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 boom. You know how sticky it get. And no, he's not talking about like a sticky situation. He's talking about the most disgusting thing in sex there is. Am I getting a cold? That would be no good. No bueno. I'm supposed to go over to Kate Newman's today. I'm supposed to have a little July 4th barbecue today. I cannot be getting a cold right now. Can't be COVID. I already had COVID. That makes me impenetrable to COVID moving forward. That's how that works. All right, am I ever going to talk about the UFC? I stayed up to watch it last night so I could do this reaction for the people. Well, that's not quite true. I'm never going to get to the UFC on this. It's not quite true. I actually started Stranger Things. Everyone's talking about it, so I wanted to be in the cool kid loop. So I started Stranger Things. I thought it'd be funny to start it like from the end and then react to episodes like backwards and be like, what's going on? Just to piss people off on YouTube. And I still might do that. I'm only 2 episodes in. Immediate reaction to Stranger Things, like the nostalgia, hate Winona Ryder. Hot take. I get that she's acting like her son is missing, but weirdly, she's acting way over the top while also coming across as unbelievable. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else. Send me a text or a comment on Instagram if you had the same feeling about Winona Ryder. Wait, what is this? I'm getting like 19 texts during this whole thing. Alright, I gotta answer this text real quick. Oh, nice. Kate got a car. This is the text. I could just ignore this on the podcast. That's what I'm going to do. Never mind. All right, moving on. What was I talking about? Yeah, Winona Ryder. She sucks. But you know what? I like the show. I would like to end there. I do like the first 2 episodes. I think I'll continue watching it. I like starting later than everyone else too, because I can like reference details to the earlier seasons, which makes me look like a super fan, and them and everybody else who's just watching season 4 look like a complete idiot. It all comes back to the Kyrie Irving attitude. All right, so I was watching the UFC last night. Great fight. I liked it. I was looking on Twitter this morning, 30 minutes ago, and yeah, people were saying it was kind of a snooze fest. I liked what number UFC was this last night? You know how sticky it get? This was UFC 276. I didn't think it was a snooze fest at all. Maybe, I went on Twitter, so that could be just like one teenager with 6 followers like yesterday. But I thought all the fights, other than Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean, which was a disqualification, I thought all the fights were very good. I mean, what more do you want? You had knockouts, you had technical fights, you had some wrestling thrown in there. You had a little bit of everything in UFC 276. But they're actually so I'm looking at the main card here. I actually was watching a really good prelim. Who is that? Let me look at the prelims. This is because I'm a super fan of Ultimate Fighting. I was watching the early prelims, not just the main card. I watched probably I guess. Well, let's count them up then, because I'm looking at it. Brad Tavares versus Duplessis was the first fight I watched, and that was very good. Duplessis won. But let's count up the fights then that I watched. I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I watched 9 fights in a row last night then. Damn. I'm not going to break them all down. How about this? I'll just give my instant reaction to all of them until I get to the main ones that maybe you've heard of. Duplessis looked good versus Brad Tavares. He never heard of him before. Great shape. That's what I kept thinking that entire fight. I was like, damn, this guy's in good shape. I mean, they're all in good shape, but like, when you see one of these guys and you're like, do you ever do anything outside of training? You know what I mean by that? Like, you're looking at this guy and you're like, my God. I mean, it looked like he was sculpted. And that's usually... Actually, the weird thing is, usually in the UFC, you should bet against that guy. If he looks like super jacked and perfect, it usually means the Nate Diaz's of the world are going to beat him up. I don't know why that is. It's because it's a lot of muscle to be dragging around. You lose a lot of, I believe. I mean, I'm no expert, but I believe if you have a lot of muscle, much like I do, I find myself getting a little tired just walking around. It's hard lugging around this much muscle, basically. Next fight was Ian Gary versus Gabe Green. Yeah, that was a 3-round battle. Ian Gary won. Moving on. Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone. Actually, I didn't see this one. I don't remember this. You would have thought I would have saw Cowboy. What was I doing on this one? It's probably texting or reading, like a nerd. But big news. I did see on Instagram the Cowboy is finally retiring. Legend of the game. He lost last night. Submission to Jim Miller in the second round. But Cowboy's a legend. Most younger people, will probably only remember him for losing a lot lately. And losing to Conor McGregor in like 15 seconds. Okay, let's go to the main card. I'm going to skip, I didn't watch, there's another Brad Riddell, Jalen Turner. I don't remember that at all, so I'm going to the main card. And this is when I had enough wine in me. I was like, you know what? I know nothing about Ultimate Fighting. Let's go ahead and throw $100 down on this guy just because I had a feeling. And that was Pedro I don't know how you say his last name. Pedro Muniz versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley is the popular guy. I mean, he's been on the Nelk Boys podcast, who apparently are super famous. They showed them 1,000 times at the UFC last night. They showed them more than Chris Pratt. I'm like, the one guy was in Jurassic Park. What do I care about these mooks who have a podcast? It'd be like if I was there and the Sunday Punch podcast took off and they're like, look at Adam. I'd be like, get the camera off me. I think Megan Fox is here. Chris Pratt, the man fights dinosaurs. What do I care about a bunch of dumbasses talking into a mic like me? But back to my point, Sugar Sean he's a great fighter. Let's go ahead and set the base on this one. He's a great fighter, but I just don't like guys that get that popular that soon, because I feel like it distracts you from the training, as we've seen with Conor McGregor. Let's not forget, Conor McGregor used to be the best fighter on the planet Earth until he got super famous. I mean, I would watch Conor McGregor and be like, this guy is magic. He would walk in super calm. He had everything in the arsenal. People forget he could hit you with a 1-2 and a leg kick and a spinning leg kick and a Superman punch. And then he got famous. He was always famous to me, but then he got really famous, and then he fought Floyd Mayweather and really was never the same after that. But that's why I was worried about Sugar Sean. So I actually bet $100 on the other guy. I had actually seen Pedro fight a few times before, and he's a tough son of a bitch. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the tough muscle hamster over the guy who is hanging out with the Nelk Boys and probably throwing back a few Miller Lights. Unfortunately, Sean O'Malley poked Pedro in the eye, and they called that a draw. Got my money back, and it's still sitting in my FanDuel account. Put $100 on it. And I think Pedro was winning the fight up until that point, so that kind of sucked. Speaking of another legend, Robbie Lawler then fought Brian Barberina. Man, that's quite the Baran. Brian Barberina. Barberin. You got me rocking and a rolling, rocking in a river. Brian Barberina. Barberin. Fought Robbie Lawler, who's legendary. I mean, if you haven't seen the Robbie Lawler, what fight was that? Oh, man, Joe Rogan, who's listening right now, is freaking out. Robbie Lawler versus, it'll probably be, Rory McDonald. If you haven't seen Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald, and you enjoy, there's a lot of qualifiers with this one, and you enjoy extreme blood, like, I'm talking like, I haven't seen this much blood. I'm trying to think of a horror movie where I've seen that much blood shown. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You haven't seen this much blood since the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it's real. And it's a 5-round fight. And I'm not going to give away who won or lost at the end. You can watch it on YouTube. I just typed it into YouTube. Ooh, it's the second fight, by the way. Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald 2. This is the best fight I've ever seen in my entire life. Man, I almost just want to watch it again. It's 31 minutes, though. I don't think you'd enjoy me live reacting to a fight that happened 10 years ago. Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald 2. Watch it. Make it happen, Cap'n. But in this fight, Robbie Lawler's I think he's too old now. He had some good moments in this fight in the first round. I think he stayed in the pocket a little too long, if I'm being perfectly honest. And what I mean by that is he wasn't really getting in and out. He was just standing there doing the side motion with the head, and then he got tagged a few times in the second round. And I think he's just too old to be taking that kind of punishment. Brian Barberena, I don't know. He's not that good. He was celebrating like he just beat Mike Tyson in his prime, like when he beat Robbie Lawler last night. And it's like, oh, Robbie Lawler should probably retire, Brian. So I don't know. Another thing, watching these guys, I was thinking, man, I got to remember, this is why I'm doing this podcast. I want to remember, because on the next one, I think I could clean up betting on UFC, because I don't think anyone knows these guys, right? So I just thought Brian Barberena didn't look very good. So in this next fight, if he's fighting someone that I've seen before who has fought good and he's favored, then I'm going to bet against him. I'm going to clean up. Next fight was a middleweight fight. Sean Strickland, major trash talker, 25-4 versus Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, who was a newcomer. Am I still drunk from the wine last night? A newcomer, 6-1, but Pereira has a background in kickboxing. He's from the Israel Adesanya fighting tree, and has really taken the UFC by storm, according to what I watched last night. And man, he looked good. He knocked out Sean Strickland in round 1. 2 minutes in, round 1. See, that's another one where no one's gonna know Alex Pereira moving forward, so you could probably make some good money betting. He'll be favored in the future, right? By maybe minus 130. But he's gonna be good enough where you could get those odds, when he probably should be minus 300 to win. That's how good he is. And then after that fight, we had Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. I mean, complete domination. This is the third fight between these two guys. Holloway was close the first 2 times. This was complete domination, and I think it's, let's give Volkanovski his props. He did okay. He's the man now. He's 25-1. Max Holloway is approaching legend who's gone too long in the UFC status. Max Holloway could get back here, who knows, but I think that was the nail in the coffin last night. And then I was fading on the Israel Adesanya fight, but I stayed up. I watched the whole thing. And, it went to decision round 5, but complete domination. He's really good at fighting. Breaking news on the SPP. Israel Adesanya is very, very good at fighting, and he's on his way to like the Mount Rushmore of UFC fighters, I think. He'd be like John Jones, him, obviously Connor. Mount Rushmore. How many people were on Mount Rushmore? How many people were, as if it's gone? How many people are on Mount Rushmore? To me, it looks like there's 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. So what do I need? One more? John Jones. Well, Israel's not there yet. So I think you got to put, like, Chuck Liddell on there? Is he good enough to be on the Mount Rushmore? Probably not, even though I love the Iceman. But not more than I like Maverick. Top Gun reference. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to somebody else who watches UFC more than me. I like Daniel Cormier. I put him on my Mount Rushmore. He was my favorite fighter. And John Jones is kind of a shithead. Look, he's talented, but shouldn't we like dock these guys for being absolute complete pieces of shit? Or is that just something I think of? Although I'm all over the place because I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. So you know what? I'm contradicting myself constantly on this podcast. I will say this. I was watching the fights, and Bruce Buffer was wearing a smoking white jacket. And I thought, when he was introducing people, you know how he does. He's the guy that does, it's time. Not the guy who does it's, but he's like the same as, let's get ready to rumble. I don't think the song plays after every time he says that, but Bruce Buffer was wearing a sweet white smoking jacket. And I thought, man, could I pull that off? I don't know. I was watching another movie and this guy was wearing like a Santa Fe jacket. You know what that is? It's like, that's the only way I know how to describe it. It's like, oh man, what words can I use other than Santa Fe jacket? It's like different patterns. It's like kind of like if you were in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and you're wearing a patterned, colorful jacket. You know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, then you need to watch more movies that feature characters that are from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I was thinking, man, could I pull that off? And then I was like, should I do a whole new look in my, in my 30s? Reinvent myself? Maybe get one of those, LeBron James, new age hats that you wear, where you kind of look like Rocky and Bullwinkle with a Santa Fe jacket and, white jeans. And they're like, Adam, oh, you show up and you're like, is that Adam? Yeah. Yeah, this is what I wear now. This is my thing. This is just who I am. It's my new look. It's, I wear a colorful patterned Technicolor dream coats with hats that may or may not be from the movie Rocky and Bullwinkle, with jeans that could get easily stained. This is my look now. I mean, I like how people change their look and then expect them, the actual person to change afterwards. I wear a coat and a hat now. Now I'm different. No, you're the same person. You're just wearing a different outfit. It's like if you wear a suit and you feel powerful, It's like, yeah, I'm successful. I'm wearing a suit. Damn, this coffee's good. Man. What else is going on? Speaking of shows, I started watching The Boys. Let's meet the boys. It's a show about if superheroes really existed and how they'd obviously, and this is definitely true, they'd obviously turn into pieces of shit. Because if you have all, like, powers, you're obviously gonna, like all famous people, probably turn into a complete piece of shit. I mean, look at the Nelk Boys. Not to keep going back to them, but, like, you know, they've just become barely famous, and they're all pieces of shit. So the one I don't know them. They could be very nice guys. I'm only judging because one of the guys was wearing like a Looney Tunes basketball jersey, and he looked like he looked like Hulk Hogan with like his tanned hot dog skin, and he kind of looked like a trailer trash uncle that, you know, is a little too friendly with the nieces. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did they go for 30 minutes? Why did he take her in there? You know, so I'm just judging on looks alone. But they could be very nice people. I don't know why I tend to go straight to the dark and the negative, but they could be very nice people. My point is, if they aren't very nice people, their small amount of fame made them shitheads. So imagine being able to fly and shoot laser beams from your eyeballs. Obviously, you're going to become a sociopathic weirdo. And that's what The Boys is about. And I don't know if I'd recommend the show. I'm like nearing the end of season 2, and I still don't know whether I'd recommend the show, but it's entertaining. I'll give it that. It's kind of disgusting, though. It's a lot of over-the-top cartoonish violence, and then weird sex scenes where the main guy, Homelander, is definitely, you know, the weirdest, and he's got something weird going on with, like, the CEO of whoever controls these superheroes, and he likes to drink her breast milk or something. I don't know. You gotta watch the show. There's my recommendation. Watch it just to kind of put on in the background. I wouldn't be paying super close attention to it like Mad Men or Breaking Bad or The Wire or The Sopranos. How many shows can I name in a row? But I would say it's fairly entertaining. I'd rather read a book, but you know, if I don't have the concentration, I'm just not in the mood, then I'll throw on The Boys. I think that's it. I think that's all I got today. I'm going to finish off my coffee. I think a nice 30-minute episode is fine. I'd like to tie it all back together, though. Do not listen to that Drake album. I've listened to it 3 times, by the way. I've tried to give it, because I like house music. And I like Drake. But I don't like Drake house music. And I've given it 3 run-throughs. And it's not good. I really kind of wanted to like it. But it sucks. It really sucks. It's not real rap. And you know what is real rap? Guap Dad 4000. So let him play us out. Listen to Guap Dad. Let's go.
But you ain't never played. You a fan, have a seat, sit down and watch the game. Bitch, I'm black, Irishman, yeah. When I started ballin', I was sliding shit. I was in the club before I was 21. Now I'm with a savage and she 21. I used to rap 200s around 21. Stupid young nigga. Now I'm in Atlanta, shout out 21. Started in the back, now I'm in the front. In a do-rag and a beater like I'm Iverson.